everything New Orleans Pelicans from a fan's perspective. 27 points, 5 rebounds. Welcome to Pelicans Flock Report, where I give you everything New Orleans Pelicans from a fan's perspective. I'm your host, D. Broussard. Now, the Pelicans have narrowed down their coaching search to 5 guys, 5 top guys in this head coaching search for the New Orleans Pelicans. And it's being reported that we may know who's going to be the next head coach of the New Orleans Pelicans, possibly by the end of the week. That's what's being said. Now, as I said before, reports are always only reports. I feel like it's always he say, she say, opinions, whatever. I don't really fall into reports, but it has been reported by multiple people. So I'm really feeling like these reports may have some truth to it. Now, obviously, it's a couple guys, and in my opinion, I feel like it's down to 3. In my opinion, personally, I just feel like we're down to 3. It's being reported as 5, but I feel like there are 3 guys that are currently, I would say, the top guys that could possibly become the Pelicans' next head coach. Now, out of that 5, one of the guys is Sweeney. Now, Sean is currently a Spurs assistant. Sean has a strong reputation as a defensive-minded coach. So Sean will definitely be a defensive-minded coach, bringing defense to this Pelicans team if hired. Also, he came from under Jason Kidd's coaching system. So I feel like that's a pretty good thing as well for Sean, because obviously Jason Kidd has proven himself to be an elite basketball coach in the NBA for the last couple years. And Sean has also been a finalist for head coaching positions with other teams in the last few years. So I feel like Sean is definitely a guy that a lot of organizations really respect, and they feel like he has what it takes to become a head coach in the NBA at some point, if not with the Pelicans. So Sean Sweeney is definitely a guy that's definitely in the mix in that top 5. Also, Steve, I hope I'm saying his name right, but Steve Hetzel. Now, Steve is currently on the Portland Trail Blazers coaching staff as an assistant. Steve is an offensive-minded coach. Um, he's not like Sean Sweeney. He's more so of an offensive-minded coach. Now, he has a good reputation for working with guards and wings and developing those type of players at those positions. So he definitely would do a good job working with a young guard like Jeremiah Fears, a wing such as Herb Jones or Trey Murphy. So he has a great reputation with working with those particular positions. And also with Steve, he has no coaching experience, head coaching experience, and neither does Sean Sweetney as well. But they're both well respected coaches around the league. And it's being said that these guys will possibly at some point, if not with the Pelicans, have a head coaching job around in the league. Now, the fan favorite right now, of course, is Rajon Rondo. I spoke about Rajon Rondo several times. It seems like things are really starting to heat up with Rajon Rondo and the New Orleans Pelicans organization. A lot of the fans really like the fact of Rajon Rondo possibly becoming the Pelicans' next head coach. Um, I've said already before, I mean, Rajon Rondo has no coaching experience, not even as an assistant, but I can't compare Rajon to JJ Redick, saying that, JJ Redick didn't have any coaching experience as well. He was a former player, and he's actually doing a good job with the Los Angeles Lakers. My only thing with Rajon Rondo is I feel like right now as an organization, this coaching hire is gonna be key. Like I've said this like numerous times. This coaching hire this offseason is gonna be really, really important. So the Pelicans organization, they have to get this right. Like, and I'm saying that because we can't have any more experiments. Like, we have to know that this is the guy. He's the one that's going to get us to where we're trying to go going forward, and that's making the playoffs, not being at the bottom of the Western Conference. That's making the playoffs. So if Rajon Rondo is going to become the next head coach, I feel like Joe Dumars, Charles Weaver, they really have to nail it and really have to feel, based off of where we currently are, that Rajon Rondo can step in and turn around this basketball team. It just can't be an experiment. Let's hire Rajon and see how he does. And then if he doesn't do well, then it's going to be like, oh, well, we should have never hired him. He didn't have any coaching experience. So one thing I can say about the Pelicans fans and what I've seen over time is, we'll advocate for a coach and say, hey, yeah, get this guy. And then once this guy doesn't win and he's not winning games and he's not a good coach, then everybody's like, well, fire him. You know, we don't want him anymore. They'll turn on the coach quick. So that's why I feel like, even though this guy is a fan favorite, like, the organization has to be sure that Rajon Rondo is ready to be a head coach. And he's going to do the job that we need him to do. And that's get us to the playoffs. No doubt about it. Now, another guy is Jamayl Mosley. Now, obviously, Jamayl Mosley was fired from the Orlando Magic this week. And I feel like Jamayl Mosley is my top candidate for this Pelicans head coaching job. I feel like Jamayl Mosley is a well-respected guy around the league. I felt like he did a really good job with the Orlando Magic with what he was given. I felt like that team wasn't really built that well. They didn't really have a whole lot of talent, in my opinion. And they were able to go to the playoffs 3 seasons in a row. Um, Obviously, starting out at the bottom, they struggled a lot during the season, but during the playoffs, this team was really able to turn it up a notch. They were up 3-1 against the number 1 seed Detroit Pistons. And I feel like you have to give some credit to Jamayl Mosley for having this team believe in themselves and play hard and, you know, take uh the number 1 team to a game 7. Now, obviously, they lost the lead, the 3-1 lead, and lost the series. And I think that's part of the reason why Jamayl Mosley was fired. But ultimately, I feel like Jamayl Mosley is a good coach, and I feel like Jamayl Mosley would be a great coach with the Pelicans just because I feel like we have more talent around this team. Even if we retool and bring in other guys, we still have, guys like Zion. We have guys like Trey Murphy. We have Jeremiah Fears, Derek Queen. The Orlando Magic, in my opinion, didn't really have that many talented players, in my opinion. I mean, Paulo was good. Um, the uh the Wagner brothers were the Wagner brother was good. Franz, he was a good player. Jalen Suggs was a little spotty at times. Anthony Black, I feel, is still developing. So I feel like the Pelicans have more of a complete basketball team, talent-wise, for Jamayl Mosley to be able to coach and possibly get us to the playoffs because he's been there and he knows what it takes to get there. Now, obviously, Jamal is an offensive-minded coach, not much of a defensive-minded coach, but I feel like with the right uh, guys in place as far as his staff, I feel like that would help him a lot with this team. Now, lastly, Darvin Ham. I spoke about Darvin Ham. Darvin Ham is also in the top 5 in this head coaching uh, candidate spot, and I feel like Darvin Ham is kind of like, you know, he's a great defensive coach. He's going to be a defensive coach. Not so good on the offensive side, but Darvin is a defensive-minded coach. He's well respected around the league as well, just like Jamayl Mosley. Um, and I feel like Darvin also will be a good coach for us. I feel like, I said he's a well-respected guy. I feel like he would definitely be able to develop the young guys. And I like Darvin Ham also as a hire. He's been a head coach before. He's won a championship. So I feel like he also knows what it takes to get there. It's just like I said, the defense, the offensive question marks for him, you know. So he definitely would have to have a good staff or hire an offensive coach, that can lead us on the offensive side. But I feel like, Darvin would definitely um, lock things down on the defensive side. So um, me, in my opinion, honestly, I think it's down to three. Honestly, if I had to say, I would say the top three right now would definitely be Rajon Rondo, Jamayl Mosley, and Darvin Ham. Those are my top three right now. I feel like those are the top three guys who we may see becoming um, the head coach of the New Orleans Pelicans, possibly by the end of the week or maybe next week, whenever they decide to hire and announce it. But I think those guys, to me, in my opinion, are the top three head coaching candidates right now. And like I said, I love Jamayl Mosley. I feel like Jamayl Mosley should be the guy. I know that all the fans like Rajon Rondo. I like Rajon Rondo as well. But I just, like I said, man, I'm just not up for an experiment. I feel like it's time to win. It's time to make the playoffs. And I feel like we need a coach with some experience, in my opinion. But excuse me. But um, you know, hey man, we'll see what happens. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, man. What you guys feel about this head coaching thing, man. Um, like I said, Jamayl Mosley, in my opinion, is my guy. Um, I don't know if Jamayl Mosley, you know, has been contacted by the Pelicans or not. I'm not sure, but he's definitely my guy. I feel like he definitely deserves to be the Pelicans' next head coach, in my opinion. So, but yeah, man, that's it for me. Things definitely heating up in this coaching search, man. So, we'll see what happens, what takes place. Like always, man, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Shout out to everybody that's already subscribed. I really appreciate y'all. And yeah, man, let's see. We may have a new head coach by the end of the week, man. We'll see. We'll see. That's it for me. I'm your host, D. Broussard. Make sure you like and subscribe. Turn them notifications on. The all new Pelicans Flock Report, where I give you everything New Orleans Pelicans from a fan's perspective.